What up, everybody? Today we're talking about Ohm's Law. Ohm's Law is one of the fundamental rules of a circuit, talking about the voltage, the current, and the resistance and how those relate to each other. All right, so if you're just looking for voltage, voltage is equal to current times resistance. The voltage comes from the battery or whatever the power source is. The resistance comes from whatever is hooked up to the battery. Like, for instance, in a circuit where there's just batteries and light bulbs, the light bulb would be the resistor. The voltage would come from the battery. All right. Obviously, there's other setups in real life. Like the battery could be the outlet or some other source of power. Resistors could also be speakers or heaters or anything that has a much higher resistance than the wiring itself. All right, and then you have the current that goes through the wires. And so this is how they're related. Now here's a quick example. Imagine you had a 8 ohm light bulb and it was connected to a battery of unknown voltage and the current was 3 amps. Well, in that case, you have current and resistance, so you just multiply those and you get the voltage is 24, right? But what if we're finding the current, not the voltage? What if we already know the voltage and we were trying to find the current? So we have to isolate I. Just do a little bit of algebra on Ohm's law. You divide both sides by R. Those cross out on the right side, and you get that I is equal to V over R. Right. Let's flip that around. So that means that the current is equal to voltage times resistance. If you have a bigger voltage, you're going to have a bigger current. If you have a smaller resistance, you're going to have a bigger current because the resistance is on the bottom of the fraction. All right. And so this version of Ohm's law is, I think, helpful because it shows you that the current is a result of the voltage and the resistance, right? So a big voltage, which means it comes from the battery, a more powerful battery is going to bring up the current, whereas a more resistive light bulb is going to bring down the current, right? And this dividing those, you get what the current is. So here's an example, all right? If you're given the voltage and you're given the resistance, you divide those to find the current. In this case, the current would be 3 amps. All right, now what if we want to find resistance? If we know voltage and current, those are usually the two easier ones to measure. So let's say we measured those already. We want to find the resistance, all right? So we'll do a little algebra here. Divide both sides by I. The I's on the right side cross out. Get R is equal to V over I, which means resistance is equal to voltage divided by current, all right? And that's how you'd find the resistance. So here's an example you might see, voltage of 12 volts, a current of 2 amps. You don't know the resistance, so you just divide those and then you get the resistance in that circuit. All right, so there's Ohm's law, and in 3 forms, they're all equally true. We've just done a little bit of algebra so that you can easily find the thing that you're looking for.